Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Manojavam Marutatuల్య Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatatmajam Vanarayutha Mukhyam Shri Ramadutam Shirasa Namami Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Apadam Apahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Dakshine Lakshmano Yasya Vame Cha Janakatmajaha Purato Marutir Yasya Tam Vande Raghunandanam. All right. We are in chapter 59 of Kishkindha Kanda. This chapter is a continuation from where we left off, that Sampati, who has met the Vanaras, and the Vanaras have helped him down, climbed him down from atop the peak to where they are on the plateau, lying down. Some of them are weakened because they've been fasting for a while, ready to give up their lives. And when they have been talking about Jatayu, Sampati becomes very awakened and alert and was eager to know. And when the monkeys narrated to him what happened with Dasharatha Maharaj, Sri Ramachandra, Lakshmana and Sita Devi coming to the forest, meeting Jatayu, then Sita Devi being abducted, and Jatayu fighting formidably with Ravana, Ravana chopping off his legs and wings and killing him, and Jatayu sort of giving up his life in his service for Sri Ramachandra and Sita Devi. Sampati feels a severe pang of pain and sorrow for the death of his younger brother. So he wants to hear more. And because Sampati is narrating this, the monkeys are also finding new life, that they feel there is some hope. That he has said, I think I can see Sita in Lanka. Then Jambavan, who's the eldest among all the Vanaras who were there, he asked Sampati some questions. So the verse is, Jambavan Vanara Shreshtaha Saha Sarvai Plavangamai Bhutalat Sahasa Utthaya. Sahasa Utthaya means suddenly got up. Gridharajanam Abravit. He spoke to Sampati. He said, Ko Sita Kenava Drashta Ko va Harati Maithilim Tat Akhyatu Bhavan Sarvam Gatihi Bhavavana Okasham. Kva Sita. Where is Sita Devi? Kenava Drushta. Who saw her? Ko va Harati Maithilim. And who has kidnapped Sita Devi? Tad Akhyatu Bhavan Sarvam. Please tell us. Because Gati Bhavaha Vana Ukasa. For all of us monkeys who are forest dwellers, you have become our shelter, our resource, Gati. Then, who is this? Jambavan further asked, Ko dasarathi bananam vajra vega nipatinam swayam lakshmanam muktanam na chintayati vikramam. Who is this who has signed a death warrant for himself at the hands of thunderbolt-like weapons of Sri Ramachandra? And also the arrows that are released by Lakshmana Muktanam. Na chintayati, that person is not even concerned what consequence they have to face. Basically, who is such a fool who has acted in such a dastardly way that has not considered the consequences of Sri Ramachandra and Sri Lakshmana's thunderbolt-like arrows. So now that the monkeys and Jambavan are all not interested in committing suicide and ending their life, they are delighted, and Sampati is delighted also that he somehow participated in avoiding such a calamity. He said, gladly, I will narrate to you. He says, I will narrate how I have heard about it. Who told me all of this and where this Sita Devi is. Shruyatam iha. Shruyatam, please listen. Vaidehya yatha me haranam shrutam. How I heard about the abduction of Sita Devi. Yenacha apimam. Yenacha apimama akyatam yatracha ayata lochana. The one who has very wide, big eyes, about her, who I heard it from. Please listen. So he says, there was a time that I had just fallen onto the peak of this great Vindhya mountain, which by its size is many, many yojanas long and wide. And because I am a very old bird, and at that time too I was older, I somehow kept my life breath preserved in my body. We know why he has fallen down on the Vindhya mountain. In the previous chapter, we heard he and Jatayu were flying high, so high, that they reached very close to the sun at such a distance where their bodies were being scorched. And to protect Jatayu, he went higher and opened his wings. And the sunlight, the harsh sunlight, scorched and burnt his wings. And he spiraled down and fell down upon this Vindhya mountain. And since he cannot fly, vultures are not birds that can walk long distances. His body was emaciated. He has not eaten for a long time. So somehow he was, let's say, crawling and preserving his life. And he says, my own son by the name Suparshva, he somehow sustained me for some time. He would bring me food. But with time, somehow that didn't work. And he says, just like in Gandharvas, there is passion, just as there is aggression in snakes, and just as inherently fear is in deer, hunger is very much our nature. Vultures are very hungry. So he says, some days I was very, very hungry. I'm so famished that I would think that I would die out of hunger. My son Suparshva, some days would bring me some flesh, and some days no flesh even after the sun was set. That means after a whole day of fasting, his son did not bring back any meat or flesh for him to eat on. Sometimes I would get angry on my son Suparshva for not bringing any food to me. Though my son tried to pacify me, and he would tell me what actually happened. So Suparshva would say, I'm looking for cadavers, dead bodies. I'm flying high in the skies, that is covering the entire range from Vindhya to Mount Mahendra. I've been hovering and here all these ways for hundreds of miles, looking for some cadavers. But one day, I saw someone that is very huge, dark colored, blackish like mascara, carrying away a very golden limbed lady. She looked like a flash of lightning in a dark cloud. I saw it, I thought, oh, maybe these two can be good food for us. But as I went close to them, I realized that huge demon is not someone I can mess around with. And this demon was very rushingly carrying away this lady. And in this situation, I heard this voice. And the voice of the sages I heard was, oh, it's so fortunate that Sita is alive. And somehow that Ravana has gone away with Sita, who actually has to be protected by all of you. Then he says that the Siddhas, the Charanas, they were all anguished. And they heard this lady crying loudly, oh, Siddhas, Charanas in the sky, please help me. And she was yelling out the names of Rama and Lakshmana. And she was saying that she is the wife of the son of Dasharatha, the daughter of King Janaka. And they have informed me that the abductor has the name Ravana, the king of demons. And so, my dear father, because I was hearing about all of this, I was delayed in bringing any flesh to you. So Sampati is narrating how he heard about Sita Devi's abduction from his son Suparshva, who heard it from the sages and all the other people as he was flying through. And Sampati said, I could not dare Ravana because I was thinking, I'm wingless. How can I take any action? Unfortunately, I was not strong enough to face off with Ravana. But what I can do is I can advise you. And you who have come here on this wonderful project of finding Sita Devi, I can be of assistance to you. And let me help you. And he says, this is my analysis. I've been waiting with this information for you. I think I've done my bit because whatever is Ramachandra's task is my task. There's no doubt. So I am asking you, for all of you monkeys or the assistants of Sugriva, is that you go ahead and find Sita Devi. So as Sampati is narrating this, the question is, how did Sampati even get here? One second, let me. Yeah. And that is because the question Sampati, what are you doing here? I know you fell, but how do you know all this story and why have you been waiting? So as Sampati is narrating that you please conduct your project, I'm helping you. I'm narrating to you where to find Sita Devi. Sampati then starts telling about why he has been surviving all this while. So the monkeys take Sampati to a water body where Sampati offers water oblations for his brother Jatayu, because he had heard the news about his brothers passing away, and very dutifully he offered oblations. Then Sampati spoke to Angada and he said to them, all of you sit quietly and listen to my narration. Krutva nishabdham ekagraha shrunvantu harayo mama. Nishabdam, quietly, don't make any noise. Listen intently, ekagra, with focus, attention. Please listen to me. Sankirteshyami, I will tell you in completeness. I'll give you every detail. Yatha janami Maithilim, how I saw Maithili. So he said, Angada, when I had fallen on the peak of this Mount Vindhya, after the sun rays had burnt my wings, and I fell from the sky onto Mount Vindhya, I lost consciousness. It was almost 6 days after that I came back and I gained consciousness and I started looking around. I was helpless, I was frantic, I was desperate. When I looked around and I saw oceans, mountains, rivers, lakes, forests, etc., and I saw these beautiful caves full of birds and trees with flowers and verdant leaves, I realized that this is Mount Vindhya, very close to the southern ocean. And a little distance from where I had fallen was the hermitage of a great sage called Nishakara. That Nishakara was so amazing that even the demigods would come down to pay their respects to him. And for 8,000 years, I was just living on this mountain peak. And I realized that maybe I should go seek this great sage's association. So with much anguish and pain, I literally crawled to meet the sage Nishakara, because previously Jatayu and I would often come and take this great sage's darshan. So I went to his ashram. How? Just by the fact that wherever his ashram was, that whole place was fragrant with the smell of ripened fruits, the smell of fragrant flowers. There is not one tree in the ashram that is not full with flowers. There's not one tree that is not full with fruits all the time, all year long. So when I went to see Sage Nishakara, he was not there. So I waited. Then, after some time, I saw this great sage, resplendent, shining with effulgence because of his tapasya, walking back to his ashrama in a northern direction. And as he was walking, behind him, all the animals of the forest were following him. Bears, deer with horns, tigers, lions, reptiles, snakes. They were all following, just as someone who's eager for a donation follows a donor. Very beautifully is explained. Dataram pranino yatha upagacchati parivarya. Dataram is one who's a donor, one who's benevolent. Just the way when a benevolent person walks, all the ones who want his benevolence or her benevolence follow them. And this great sage was like a fantastic king that is taking care of all of his subjects. Then when he came to his ashrama, he saw me, but he didn't say anything. He just entered his ashram. And a few moments later, he walked out, saw me, and said, Saumya, Vaikalyatam drashtva, Romnam te na avagamyate, Agnim dagdhau imau pakshau, prana chapi sharirako. Oh, gentle bird, Sampati, you've almost become unrecognizable. Drushtva romnam tena avagamyate. Even if I'm looking at you, I can't recognize you. Your whole presence, your whole form has changed. I can see that the two wings of yours have been burnt, but there is life in your body. You're alive, but you look dead. Previously, I've seen both of you brothers, the great vultures, kings among these vulture birds. You have speed like wind god, and you could change your form to any form you wished. You're the elder one, right? And Jatayu is your younger brother. I remember you would come regularly by taking human form, and you would come and touch my feet. So what happened? You don't have these wings. Is it some disease, some illness, or is it a curse? Tell me in detail what happened. So Sampati said, oh, Sage Nishakara, and he narrated to him the whole story of how he and his brother flew up in the sky, and the sun's rays were scorching and burnt Sampati's wings as he was trying to protect his brother Jatayu. So he says, my brother and I would fly here, fly there, high up in the sky, all over the world we would fly. But because of how it got burned, I fell down because we reached so close to the sun that the sun was like Yamraj and just burnt me. And I have fallen here and I have no energy, no strength in my body. And my brother has flown away somewhere else. I think my brother may have fallen in Janasthan somewhere, but I've fallen here in Mount Vindhya. And I'm almost at the point of death because I cannot live like this. I've not been eating because if I don't have wings, I'm handicapped to find my own food. And I wept at the feet of the sage like anything. Then the sage closed his eyes as if he was meditating on something. And then the sage Nishakara said to Sampati, Pakshau chate prapakshau cha punaha anyau bhavishyatihi chakshushi chaiva prana cha vikrama cha balat cha mete. Both of your wings will come back. They'll start like small wings and slowly they'll grow to this big, huge wings as your original wings. You will regain all your life, your prana fully. Vikrama, great prowess will come back to you. Balam, strength will come back. Everything will be like you had. You'll almost get a new body like. So Sampati was all All years. Oh. So then the sage said, Purano sumahat karyam bhavishyam hi maya shrutam. I heard a very long time ago that something very grand is going to happen. Drushtam me tapasa chaiva shrutva cha viditam mama. Then with my own meditative power, I saw what will happen, as exactly I had heard. And so way back in the past, there was a prediction, Raja Dasharatho Nama Kinchit Ikshvaku Vardhana, that there would be some king born in the Ikshvaku dynasty by the name Dasharatha. Tasya Putro Mahateja Ramo Nama Bhavishyati. And to that king would be a very great personality called Rama. That Ramachandra would be assigned the project of going to the forest with his brother Lakshmana. There, a demon called Ravana, who's the king among all the Rakshasas, who's not even to be killed by the gods or a demon, nobody, such Ravana will abduct Sita Devi from Janasthana. That wife of Ramachandra by the name Maithili, very, very prestigious, sophisticated, elevated lady who does not touch any food, is not lured by any sense gratification that Ravana offers her, because she will be completely drowning in an ocean of sorrow. Once, even Indra would come and give her heavenly food that is full of nectar so that she can sustain her life in her body. But when she gets that food, Sita Devi will look at it, pick up the first morsel, because for a hungry person, there cannot be anything more valuable than food. But Sita Devi, who's been fasting for a year, will pick up that food, look at it, and say, I offer this to Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana wherever they are. If they are alive, it is for them. So she will not eat anything. Such is the greatness of this lady, Sita Devi. Then the sage told Sampati, someday some monkeys will come to you searching for Sita Devi, because they have been ordered by Sugriva and they have this service to do for Ramachandra. So I want you to give this message to them. It is better that you don't have wings until then, because by the nature of a bird is that a little disturbance, it flaps its wings and flies away. So until you give this message, your wings will not come back. The day you meet them, your wings will come back. You give this message. So this is the service for you. In fact, the sage said, I'm capable of making your wings come back right now. But I think you have a service. So let that service, so wait until that time. When you do this service, you will not only please the monkeys, even the demigods, the brahmanas, everyone will be pleased. Ultimately, Ramachandra and Lakshmana will also be very pleased. And the sage, they said that even I have a great desire to see Rama and Lakshmana. But my body has become old and it is time for me to leave this body. But you can stay and convey this message. And so the sage left his body and went into the higher realms. So Sampati said that for 300 years, I've been waiting to fulfill this instruction that sage Nishakara gave me. So I've just have been creeping slowly and reached the top of this Mount Vindhya. And I've been waiting for 300 years for your arrival. He told me this 300 years ago. A little more than 100 years have passed of my waiting. Sorry, this message was given 300 years ago. So he says, I've been waiting, but uh, sometimes I would wonder, did Sage Nishakara say the right thing? Is that such a thing ever going to happen? Sometimes my anguish would burn me down. Then sometimes I would think, oh, it's not worth it. I cannot wait. I should give up my life. But sometimes I would say, no, let me just wait and see. This dirty Ravana, I think, needs to meet with his end. I would rebuke my son sometimes. Why did you not save Maithili? Um, and he says, my son could not face off with Ravana. And sometimes he would look at me and say, me, Ravana? No way. And now, as Sampati spoke to the monkeys, slowly little wings, feathers started cropping up on his back. And before the eyes of the monkeys, that small wings started growing and they became clusters of feathers. And so these clusters of feathers started growing, and slowly, new reddish wings were growing on Sampati's back. And Sampati could not control his happiness and joy. And suddenly, these wings became so big, full, thick, that he could flap them. And Sampati started, for the first time in thousands of years, flew into the sky. And then he told the monkeys, my job is done. I have given you what you need. Sita is across the ocean there in Lanka. She's in captivation. She's captured by Ravana. All of you work out a way that you can cross that ocean and go find Sita Devi. And that bird Sampati flew away. So all these monkeys became so gladdened and happy that, oh, finally we have heard this news about Sita Devi. And now they had to go from where they are towards the ocean. But they decided, let's wait for the right time, because anything auspicious must be started at an appropriate time. And so they waited for the sun to be in the what's called the Abhijit Lagna. It seems that whenever any new activity, important projects are started when the sun is in Abhijit Lagna, that is the time when success is assured. So they waited, and that's the time they were going to go towards the ocean. So there we end chapter 63. Now, when we meet again, whenever, we'll go further into how they come to the ocean. There's a whole discussion of who will fly, how much they can fly, how much strength they have, and why they select Hanuman as the person who would make that jump. And that is because of the great words of Jambavan. So Sampati teaches us, or Sampati's story is the way Valmiki Rishi is expressing to us that in the life of a sadhaka, there are ups and downs, klesha. And these ups and downs will sometimes give us a boost of enthusiasm, and sometimes completely take the wind out of our sails. Some days we feel unmotivated. Some days we have great resolve and enthusiasm, and some days all of that determination may go away, a little of it can go away. So our progress curve is very sinusoidal, as my spiritual master says. But what kept Sampati alive is the words of the great sage Nishakara and a service to accomplish. So the idea is that as one goes through life, especially bhakti life, having whenever the short term uh, discourages us, it's very important to have a big picture and a long-term perspective and goal in mind. Without that long-term goal or aspiration, the day-to-day becomes very big. We tend to see life right here, but the life that we want is that which need to achieve beyond. So having long-term focus, we've heard Prabhupada use the phrase Shreyas, Yat Shreyasham Nishchitam Bruhitan Me. Tell me what is beneficial for me in the long run. And it is important that on our own or by the help of someone, that our vision is fixed on the long term so that the short term doesn't pull us down too much. And we can continue gathering strength, energy, count our blessings, hold on to, become nourished by those blessings, and take on the next day, the next event, the next phase of life, because we have a long-term picture in mind. There are times when people lose the very idea of, oh, if I'm like this now, long-term, forget about it. But the words of Sampati and the life of Sampati can be an inspiration that even for a wingless bird that has been completely scorched and dead, even for such a bird that is all just living by a very thin thread, because he carried out, although he explains his struggle, some days I was irritated, some days I was tired, some days I was famished, I was like, is this worthwhile? Still the words of the sage stayed with me, and I've been waiting. And we know that the blessings of great personalities, the spiritual masters, the disciplic succession, those blessings will always fructify. They may not fructify on our timeline, but they will always fructify. This is called Vishwasa, Nishchaya, Shudrada Nishchaya. These are the elements of faith. Vishwas and Shraddha are the male-female counterparts that are always together. One who has Shraddha has to have Vishwas. And one who has Vishwas, their Shraddha will grow. They are a couple. They are not separated. You cannot have confidence or assurance without faith. You cannot have faith. You cannot have faith and not have confidence. Not possible. And that is what carries. The faith in the words and the blessings of the great persons will carry, if Sampati, then any one of us. This is a very, very intensely confidence building, faith building event. That for the monkeys also, they saw that, oh, Ramachandra's work that was determined so far back, and everyone has played their part for us to get this news today. And Sampati got a new life out of it. Literally a new life, a new body that he could fly and regain his original vibrant nature. So it's a very faith-building, nourishing story. That is why it's included, I think. I mean, I don't know why Valmiki included it, but I'm taking it as it's there as an encouragement, especially the scene where the monkeys are feeling very defeated. They have no hope. Sampati, who's also sitting there without any hope, holding on to one message, and providentially they come together. And both of them find new life. And the another nugget of thing is two lifeless parties, one the monkeys, the other Sampati. But by rendering service that is needed for Lord Ramachandra and Sita Devi, both parties gain new life, new zeal for carrying out their lives. So that is the potency of service and katha that can bring or breathe new life into even the worst conditions that one may be in. And the world is full of physical and mental disease and constantly being battered by. And in Bhagavatam, Narada Muni says, Adhayo Vyadhayaschaiva. Adhi is mental illness or and Vyadhi is physical illness. So either of them or both of them are solved by the small doses of medicine of Katha. Rasayana Katha. This Katha of the Lord works as medicine. When heard from pure sources, when received from genuine sources, makes very, very potent medicine. Ashu very quickly brings Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir Anukramishyati. And for that, Satam Prasanga. One needs to have the attachment for Satam. This is what Sampati had, attachment to that sage, Nishakara. And his words that he held on to, the service that he held on, that he promised that he will do, or he was asked to do, kept him alive, and Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir Anukramishyati. Got new wings to fly, and because of the service that he rendered. All right, let's see if there are any comments, questions. Reflection, you want to add something? Great.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Kirti. Sorry, my voice is hoarse.
Are you the iPhone? I think so.
Yes.
Okay. Next time, please put your name there.
Yes.
Thanks.
I was thinking of the parallel between Sampati and Shabari. She too held on to the instructions of sage Matanga, if I'm not wrong. But we don't get to hear her struggles in how she executed her service. But here with Sampati's case, he is pretty transparent about his ups and downs and how he still kept going. So that's very encouraging. Thank you for sharing.
It's there. The difference is the great ascetics, sages, and realized persons don't speak of their struggles the way, because they're not in a bodily conception of life. Sampati is very much like a sadhaka. Shabari is very evolved. There's a difference. Everyone can serve Ramachandra. Nobody. Vultures can serve, monkeys can serve, Rakshasas can serve, but they all have the dimension of, they're all not like one size fits all. All devotees should look like this. All devotees should speak like this. All devotees should, have never. Variety is the beauty. And here, Jatayu is different from Sampati, it was different from Shabari. Ramachandra asks Shabari, is your life okay? Is your body okay? Are your practices doing well? And her answers are all glorification of her spiritual master. Here is a very different one. Oh, this body hurts, that pains, this one, and still carrying out the service. So both are very glorious in their own right, very different personalities. Perhaps not even comparable.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Wow. What a pleasant surprise, Srinivas Murari Prabhu.
I was with a different name last few weeks. With Madhava name.
Oh.
Thank you very much for taking this nice class, Ramayana lecture, Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji, one thing I was thinking, like, we also following Prabhupada and Guru Jana. So we did not see the Goloka. We did not see how the joy and the serving Krishna in the spiritual world. So are we also like having that faith, or should we like anytime it shakes, that means we are uh, we don't have faith, or should we just take the shelter of these stories and continue on faith? That any comparison between our faith between the Sampathis and like Shabari, like Prabhuji was asking.
Excellent question, Prabhu. Faith is inherent to the soul. There is nobody in this creation who doesn't have faith. The question is, what is the person's faith in? That is what guides them. And that's what Arjuna asks in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna says, faith is there for everybody. It's just that the faith is reposed here in Tamoguna or by Tamoguna. Someone's faith is reposed here through Rajoguna. Someone's faith is reposed there through Sattva-guna. But faith everyone has. And depending upon the color of the faith, then their behavior and worship and what they look to gain confidence in changes or is different. We, as the followers of Srila Prabhupada, want to cultivate or filter our faith from being in the modes to faith in transcendence. So when there is a dip, it is not that we lose faith. The dip means the faith color has changed. To some shade, the shade has changed. The color may not have fully changed, but the shade changes for a moment or for whatever amount of time. And when the shade changes, our objective, what we think will make us happy, what we think will be the goal of life will shift accordingly. So then as a sadhaka, then we engage in our practices here, Katha, take association. So the shade goes back again towards transcendence. Right? That is the definition of faith Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. Shraddha Shabde Shrudhrada Vishwasa. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Haya. That is the objective, that when I engage in service of Krishna, every other piece of life falls into place. That is Srudhrada Nishchaya in Bhakti. When the shade changes, a person will say, if I have money, I'll be happy. If I have wealth or in a way, I'll be happy. If I succeed with that degree, I'll be happy. If I gather this property, I'll be happy. If I have peace of mind, I'll be happy. The shade keeps changing. We want, as aspirants of bhakti, we want the shade to be Krishna Karma Krita Haya. That's what we want. And we adjust our bhakti meter through hearing and association to bring that shade of faith. So the terminology that I lost faith or faith went away, I mean, makes sense, but it's not so binary. No, it's very much on a continuum, and it's of a different grade and category. Better the word I think of it is a shade, as the color shades change.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, good. Next Saturday, whether we meet or not, it's Yatra time. Different devotees will be tuned into Yatra classes. So sometime in the middle of the week or near Saturday, I will inform you what the course of action is. I'll need to talk to a few devotees to see availability, possibility or not. So let me get back to all of you on the WhatsApp group. Okay. But thank you. You've stayed so far. I'm amazed. I'm inspired. I feel like Sampati, who's got new wings to get your association. We started with Balakanda, Ayodhya, Aranya, ending Kishkinda Kanda is amazing. Your each one of your tenacity to face my onslaught, but your taste in Ram Katha is very, very inspiring for me. I feel I have a new life when I see all of you staying for, it's been what, more than 2 years, and you've been there. Thank you. I'm very grateful to you. And may we find new wings, new life, new inspiration as we carry the words of great sages in our lives. We carry their words of service. We carry their words of that will benefit us, those words that will benefit us, and maybe soar to new heights of our realization in our relationship with wonderful, wonderful couple Sita and Ramachandra and their amazing devotees, and whichever forms of the Lord that inspire us the most, may we find that new wealth of inspiration in that. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai.